So hello everyone, I'm sitting here with Marie Cassette, who is an educator who has worked with Europa Universalis before, and we're going to talk a little bit about her current employment and her studies first. So hello Marika, say hi to everyone.
Hi.
So you want to talk to us about your studies first?
Yeah, basically I haven't studied education. I've been studying political science and business administration, which I've currently finishing, and at the same time I'm working at an NGO helping migrants and refugees at the moment. But what we're here to talk about is my former employment at an NGO working with helping children with their learning and motivating them to study more.
Okay, when you say this is an NGO, can you talk to us a bit more about how it is formed and who are the children who are being helped by your organization?
Basically, the NGO was seeing that students in Sweden are doing worse and worse with their studies, like they're getting worse grades. So they started this NGO that works basically with municipalities in low socioeconomic areas, and they try to make both the local businesses and the municipalities together to engage in funding 15 students or 30 students, depending on the municipality, to get extra help from university students.
Okay, so all the teachers at that place are university students?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that is one of the things that I want to motivate these children, that it's possible for them to also go to universities, because they maybe not have these type of role models in their neighborhood or in their family.
So do you guys use a lot of technology in your classes? How do you include technology in your curriculums?
They started actually now with Samsung offering computers to some of the schools, so we have tried with that. But then what was different in my school was that my colleague, he's studying education and political science, and he was very interested in Europa Universalis, and he actually initiated that we started using Europa Universalis for in the classroom to motivate and teach the children. So that was not a move that all the schools were doing. That was an initiative from my colleague.
Okay, so
but usually I think they're trying to get everyone to have the computers, and they're trying to use more application and computer-based learning.
So was the game only played in class, or was it played at home? How was it?
No.
How was it organized?
Had to play at home as well in order to get somewhere in the game. And we had actually asked our NGO, because they're very glad when people have initiative and come with new ideas, and they really try to help because they think that it's beneficial for their learning. So we actually asked them we had found some older copies of the game of Europa Universalis, and we asked them if we could buy them to all the children. We had 15 children in our class, and they agreed to do that.
So can you tell us a few activities in which you have used Europa Universalis at your school?
Yeah, of course. For example, regarding trade in the game, you can edit the settings of the game, and you can have, for example, different diplomatic influence. Like, for example, we took one of the same country. We can say that we take France, and we give France a lot of diplomatic influence in the world, and we look at how this affects their trading abilities.
Okay.
And then we put, for example, low influence, and we're looking how this is affecting their trading abilities. And depending on how much diplomatic influence they have, their trading abilities go up and down. I mean, it's easier for them to trade or less easy.
Okay, so I guess the
children
children noticed in their games that they were experiencing difficulties in trading when they were on the low setting, if they were the ones who received the version of the game with the low setting.
Yeah. We took, for example, we had like divided them into groups. Like some of them had to have the high settings of diplomatic influence and some low, and then we made a discussion about it so they can see the difference. Oh, what happened in your game and you had this and these settings? What happened in yours? What do you think? What could have been the possibility?
So were there any other activities that you did?
We, for example, made them, also we were working with this, like changing settings to see different outcomes. That was basically the main way we were using the game. So we were, for example, changing the military funding of a country, like having a lot of military funding or having very low military funding, and seeing the changes of this. Basically, what you can see is that the reinforcement ability of the military goes down a lot if you have low funding, but we wanted for the children to play and see how it was and then tell us their experience. The game, like they have log files where you can see the progress that has happened every time you played, and we use these log files to discuss the game. Like we could read them and they can also read them, and they can make summaries.
Yeah, of course, because when some events happen in the game, maybe children are not able to identify everything that a teacher will, so you can always start discussions.
Exactly. That is really good, because sometimes you need to make them aware of all the small steps, because sometimes they're not, they're very into the game and they maybe don't notice everything that someone else would do that is older or something like that.
But yeah, I guess when a country is at war in the game and then the army isn't reinforced very quickly, I guess it must have been much more difficult for those kids to win the battles or to be able to play the game, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they notice that, but then you need to see, okay, why was this? And you need to change it. Okay, how did it go for the other people that was, for example, having high military funding or, expenditures? So, yeah, basically by using this game, we try to engage them and to try to think about how actions
how different factors affect the outcome of what they're trying to do.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, thank you. Which do you think are the learning advantages, and which do you think are the learning advantages, and which are the disadvantages in using grand strategy games, which show the world from above and people control a lot of aspects of the societies, compared to other strategy games that place the player in a more special position to do a more special mission?
Basically, useful. You said that you are looking at different factors in society and how they are connected to each other or how they influence each other. This is what we wanted to teach the children. Because basically you can get this expertise fact by reading a book, but really understanding how the economy, for example, influence politics, or how politics influence the military or warfare is very important. Or for example, so this is what we want them to understand. And I understand that the game is not, a weakness is that, this is not the reality, this is not exactly how it happens, so they will not get that kind of information from the game, but they get an understanding of how to evaluate and how to analyze something. I would say that is the biggest advantages, and actually that was why we choose the game, because a lot of our students, they cannot see the connection between, this happened, the economy was bad, and then, for example, stability was low, and they could not see the connection between these two or something like that. And now we're just trying to make them look and analyze in another way. That is what we want to do. We don't want to give them the exact knowledge, because that they can look up in the internet. It's not our society is changing in that way as well. You don't have to have everything in your head. Like, you don't have to know that this happened exactly that day and blah, 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 blah. What you need to know is how to critically analyze or how to see connections between.
So how to understand
factors.
Why it happened.
Yeah.
And then you understand what happened. Okay?
Yeah,
so
basically, because you're going to have that information everywhere. But you need to understand how to use this information and how to understand this information. More than
how
actually
to absorb it and get a lot
analyze
of...
it and to see what it actually, the outcome.
So, do you think it is a big disadvantage? So, do you think it is a big disadvantage, the fact that the algorithms of the game cannot be considered representative to reality?
No, I wouldn't say that it's a very big problem, because I think that actually when they can use like the terminology and the understanding of the game, like what to look at and what influence what, like economy and military and political stability, how they influence each other. And when they, for example, read they study for their exams, it could be more interesting for them because it's connected to the game, and also that they could actually see, be able to
identify, I guess.
Yeah,
the elements of the game.
These elements of the game, and they know what they're looking for. Like, they know what is important to know. And I guess it's been better because some of our students have been bad at seeing the connections, some have not been so interested, and I have seen that they are more interested in history, and also that they are better at seeing these connections.
Alright.
So I think actually it's not such a big disadvantage because they can... Okay, sometimes maybe some student can mess something up, But,
yeah, okay.
But overall, I would say it's not such a big weakness.
Alright, well, thank you so much. It's been a very good interview.
Thank you.
Good luck
with your
assignment.
Studying, your assignment.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.